You're not living on takeaways, you cook most of your meals and you read the labels. You've cut the obvious stuff, but you're still stuck. This is a position most men find themselves in when they're trying to lose fat and improve their health. Most fitness influencers completely butcher this and add to the confusion. My name is Adam. I'm a performance nutritionist who's helped over 200 men lose fat and significantly improve their health. And this isn't your typical scaremongering video. This is about understanding a few shifts you can make that will actually move the needle. To set the scene, let's look at a study that was done in 2019. It was carried out by a very well-respected researcher called Kevin Hall, and in a metabolic ward, meaning participants lived in a research facility for a month and every gram they ate was controlled and measured. This is the gold standard of nutrition research. It's the most controlled it gets. 20 adults, 2 diets, each for 2 weeks and in a random order. One was mostly built from ultra-processed foods like packaged cereals, white bread, deli meats, frozen meals, sweetened yogurts, and the other from minimally processed foods like fresh meat, fish, eggs, plain yogurt, veg, whole grains, nuts. The researchers matched both diets for calories, protein, carbs, fat, sugar, sodium, and fiber on paper. But participants were told to eat as much or as little as they wanted. On the ultra-processed diet, people ate around 500 extra calories a day without being told to and without even noticing. Then they gained around 2 pounds in 2 weeks, but the other diet, they lost about the same amount. Remember, they had the same macros available, but they were completely different outcomes. And 3 things explained it. The ultra-processed meals had roughly double the calories per gram. People ate them faster, which meant more calories before any sort of fullness kicked in. And the food was softer, it required less chewing, so it was easier to keep going with it. Now, think about what that means. Your body doesn't respond the same way to 500 calories of chicken and rice as it does to 500 calories of cereal and a frozen meal. The food structure changes how much you eat, and that's the whole point of this video. Processed gets thrown around in a way that isn't useful. Frozen vegetables are processed. Whey protein is technically ultra processed, but that doesn't make them the problem. What actually matters is a sliding scale at one end. Fresh meat, fish, eggs, plain yogurt, veg, oats, rice, nuts. Food that's basically as it came. In the middle, canned beans, cheese, simple breads. Food that has been combined or preserved in a straightforward way. At the far end, packaged snacks, sweetened cereals, instant noodles, most fast food, frozen ready meals, energy drinks, industrial formulations that have ingredients you wouldn't cook with. Well, most of you wouldn't. That last category is what caused the overconsumption in Hall's study. Food that has high energy density, low fiber, and is engineered to be easy to keep eating. That's the whole business model. If you want a quick check, look at the list of ingredients. If it's full of things you wouldn't find in a home kitchen or you can't pronounce, it's probably on the far end. That's what we're actually trying to reduce. And not all processing, just that chronic reliance on that far end. Now, what does it actually do to your health? Beyond the calories, a 2024 paper looked at data from studies covering nearly 10 million people. They found higher ultra-processed food intake was associated with 32 negative health outcomes. Cardiovascular death, around 50% higher risk at the highest intakes. Type 2 diabetes, anxiety, all cause mortality up around 21%. That's dying of any cause. Heart disease death up around 66%. Most of this is observational. It's association that's not guaranteed causation in every individual. But when you pair it with the randomized trial data showing people unconsciously overconsume 500 calories a day of ultra-processed food, the pattern isn't easy to dismiss. For the average man over 30 who has a stressful job, less sleep, and blood pressure possibly starting to creep, that ultra-processed baseline is background noise, pushing weight, blood sugar, and cardiovascular risk in the wrong direction. This usually happens over years. Someone will always say it's all calories in, calories out, and none of this matters. They're partly right, but only partly. And on the other end of the scale, you have these fitness influencers that will make you think that any amounts of ultra processed food will degrade your health. They're usually in a supermarket reading ingredient lists. The problem isn't processing in general. A whey protein shake and a packet of hobnobs, they're both technically ultra processed. Yet they do completely different things to your satiety and your health. What the evidence actually supports is simpler than most people make it. Build the default of your diet around foods that are hard to overeat and easy to live with, and then fit the other stuff around it. That's not fear-mongering perfection, but a shift in your baseline. And there's even work showing that when ultra-processed diets are designed to be high in protein and fiber, a lot of the harm is reduced or disappears. This tells you something useful. It's not just the label on the packaging. No, you don't need to order every ingredients list to reduce ultra processed intake. There are two things that do most of the work. Protein. Protein is consistently the most satiating macronutrient, and because of that, you feel fuller with fewer calories when more of what you're eating comes from protein. Because you are more full, you have less drive to reach for higher calorie snacks, and a bigger proportion of what you're eating is already coming from the food that doesn't work against you. 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your body weight daily is a solid target if you're training. And as much from whole foods as possible: chicken, fish, meat, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, legumes. Then, to fill in the gaps, maybe some protein bars or protein powder. Vegetables and high fiber. High fiber foods specifically are foods low in calories per gram. They are bulky and they are slow to digest. They turn up fullness signals. And when half your plate is veg or salad at most meals, you're filling your stomach with food that's almost impossible to overeat. And it's undesirable to overeat. The practical outcome, when your plate is already occupied by protein and high fiber food, there's less room and less desire for the ultra processed stuff. This is not because you're being disciplined or obsessing over ingredients, but because you are more full. And you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Pick 2 to 3 of these and run with them for a month. Breakfast. Flavored instant oat packets and sweetened cereals are exactly the kind of food that drives overconsumption in studies like Hall's. Cook or soak your oats yourself and top them with fruit and yogurt. Maybe throw in some protein powder, or you have some eggs with lots of veg. These are slower to digest and harder to overeat. Protein sources, deli meats, chicken nuggets, processed sausages are among the UPF category most consistently linked to cancer and cardiovascular risk. Swap them for like chicken breasts or thighs, fish, eggs, plain yogurt, canned tuna. And I would suggest batch cooking once or twice a week. So then it's just as convenient as the processed alternative. Snacks. I rarely suggest even thinking about snacking. But if you're going to snack, you need to understand that most packaged snacks are high energy density, low satiety, designed to keep you eating. That's what keeps the companies in business. Fruit, nuts, Greek yogurt, hard-boiled eggs are way harder to overeat and they'll fill in the gaps. Even cheese, for example, like low-fat cheese. Carbs. If white bread, wraps, or instant noodles are a staple, swap them for 100% whole grain bread like sourdough, for example. Potatoes, rice, oats. These are more filling and more nutrient dense. Now, with your drinks, liquid calories like sugary drinks, sweetened coffee, juice don't register as food. Your brain doesn't count them towards fullness. Cutting this alone removes hundreds of calories for a lot of men without changing anything else. Switch to water, sparkling water, black coffee, herbal teas, and even a diet soda if it helps you. Now for dinners, a simple template that will work for you most evenings. 1 or like say 2 palm-sized servings of protein, 2 fists of veg, a cupped handful of like whole food carbs like a potato. So something like this, chicken breast, a lot of roasted veg and rice, maybe some baked salmon, potatoes, and lots of green beans. These are fast and easy, and when the majority of your calories over the course of the week comes from these type of foods, you shift out the ultra processed foods without any calculations. You want to aim for roughly 70 to 80% of your meals built from minimally processed foods. If you eat 3 meals a day, that's leaving room for maybe 5 or 6 meals a week that are less controlled, work lunches, maybe some social eating, whatever. The rest should be like the template above. Hit 2 numbers daily, a minimum of 0.7 grams of protein per pound of your body weight per day, and 30 to 40 grams of fiber. If you're over 30 and training, those 2 targets alone do more for body composition and appetite control than most things people obsess over. And change your food environment, not just your intentions. If your kitchen is full of ultra-processed snacks, you'll eat them. Stock it with protein and veg that are easy to grab. Keep canned beans, plain oats, rice, and frozen veg on hand. Don't make the same mistake most men do and buy large quantities of things you know you'll overeat. Look, that could even be peanut butter, but just make sure you know what you're likely to overeat. And you can use my free fat loss calculator below to work out your protein target, calorie target, and a realistic timeline. It just takes 2 minutes. If 60% of your calories are coming from ultra processed food, which is around average, your body is fighting fat loss every day. This is how that food is built, not your willpower. You don't need to become someone who just only eats fresh food. You need to shift the default so most of the food you eat, your body knows what to do with. If this was useful, subscribe and watch this one next. I'll see you there.